Oh, we're installing the holiest of headers today. Literally cannot wait. So welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're putting on the Killer Bee equal length headers. We are draining all the old oil out of the STI and we are throwing the bumper back on, and then we're gonna get the last couple bits and pieces bolted up. Maybe by the end of this video, we will be able to start the car. Yeah, we're literally so close. All we have to do is put on the headers, swap out the oil, get the last piece of intercooler piping thrown on here, and we will be good to go. I'm still waiting on that mini battery to show up. I did just order it last night though, so I'm assuming it shipped today, which means I will get it like mid next week or something like that. Not entirely sure when I'll get it. At some point it will show up, just because once I get the charge piping, and I'll show you guys kind of the issue, but the charge piping hits pretty hard on that corner of the battery, so it's a little difficult to finagle it in there. So I got like an Odyssey 9.6 something mini battery with grim speed battery mount. One of my lights went out. What? Oh, it was just turned off. Let's jump into this. I already have the old header pulled off the car. We're gonna drain the oil out of the car first and get the new oil in. Once I do the oil change real quick, I will show you guys the OEM header, and I'll show you guys the Killer Bee header, just so you can get kind of a reference of what we're changing from equal length over to unequal length. This is the oil that I'm gonna be throwing into the STI. It's the 8100X Clean EFE. Should be a good oil for the dyno. I'm also just using an OEM Subaru filter because that's what I have. And then I should have crush washers. Aha! And then I've got a whole bunch of crush washers right here. I just order them in bulk whenever I need them, so I just have them up here. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna walk you guys through how to change the oil. It's extremely simple. Take off the oil cap to let the pan breathe, pull out the drain plug, let it all drain out. While it's draining out, take off the oil filter, let that drain out, get the new oil filter on. I normally pre-charge it, which means you just pour a little bit of oil. Don't do that hand motion again. You just pour a little bit of oil into the top of the filter before putting it back in. You don't have to do it. I like to do it. I've always done it, so I'm going to keep doing it. Get the new filter on, put the drain plug in, refill it with oil. Bada bing, bada boom, we're done. Once I do this oil change, we will get this header installed on the car. And like I said, I'll show you guys the differences between that stock header and this header after this oil change. I wanted to show you guys the difference between equal length and unequal length. And as you saw, the boss lady helped pull off the heat shields to show you guys. So we have the unequal length OEM headers up here. These are like cast iron. They are heavy, let me tell you. And then right below it, we have the equal length. So as you can see, the unequal length, the exhaust ports are spaced much farther apart. They're spaced the same distance, but the runners go to the collector at significantly different lengths versus the Killer Bee one, where you can see, they follow the same length coming off of both ports, go to one singular collector and then go up. So now that we have the oil changed in the car, we have the OEM header off, and I've kind of explained to you guys. And by the way, the weight savings on this is significantly different. Like I could pick up the Killer Bee one with one hand. That one, it's a struggle bus, but I can do it. So I'm gonna be using some Grim Speed replacement gaskets to get them on the car. I'm just gonna bolt this up to the bottom of the block, get the bumper thrown back on. If you don't know how this bolts up, there's 3 bolts. They're all 12 or 14 millimeter. I don't remember off the top of my head. And then on the end of it, where it goes up to the up pipe, it's just 2 bolts. So that gasket will go over here to where the header goes up to the up pipe. Those gaskets will one on each of these up to the block. So let me get the camera set up under the car. We'll get this new header installed, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like on the car, because I already know it's going to be beautiful. I've also already swapped over the O2 sensor. This will go up to where the passenger side sits, near the ABS module. I'll plug this in after it's installed and I'll show you guys where it goes. But let me get this thrown on the car and then we'll keep going on this install. We'll get the bumper thrown back on. We'll get the car back on the ground, fill it up with coolant, get the last piece of charge piping on, and then the car is reassembled, baby. The header is on. Look at that. It looks so good. It clears the oil pan perfectly, which I would hope it would because they're both killer bee parts. For the most part, it was easy to get on. The hardest part about installing a header on these cars is the fact that you have to line up the left side and the right side runners at the same time for it to go on. So if you don't, it goes on like lopsided like that, and it doesn't want to slip on. Now, everything was easy to bolt up except for the innermost bolts where the flanges connect to the block. They were a little bit of a pain. They weren't too bad. The joining part over there for the up pipe was super easy because the up pipe is a flex point. One thing that threw me off is on the single runner after the collector, the O2 sensor points inwards towards the oil filter, which really threw me off because up here when it came to getting everything plugged in, I had to reroute the O2 sensor harness to make it fit, and it's a little bit tight. Makes me a little weary of it, but everything is all good. So now that we have the header on, everything under the car is done. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get the bumper thrown back on the car and get it back on the ground because it has been on jack stands far too long, and I'm excited to get this thing back on the ground. So let me get the bumper thrown on real quick. Super simple, connect it up, and then we will get the car back on the ground, throw the last piece of intercooler piping on, and then the car is once again complete. Oh my god, it's a car again. So I am missing one V-band bolt. I lost one of the bolts to one of the V-band clamps, so I need to order a new one tonight. But outside of that, everything is reassembled. So we're gonna prime the engine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna disconnect the fuel pump. Well, we're gonna take the fuel pump fuse out. We're gonna disconnect the crank sensor, which is right under the alternator. Right there, you can see it under the alternator down there. So we're gonna disconnect that, and we're just gonna turn the engine over a couple times to let oil start flowing through everything. After that, we might start the car tonight. We could start the car tonight. We could totally start the car tonight. Let's get the system primed. We'll see what's going on after, but the new headers are on the car. They look awesome. Fitment is perfect. It's killer bee, so I'd expect so. All vacuum lines, electrical connectors, everything is hooked back up. New map sensors in, hybrid speed density is in, engines put back together, bumpers back on the car, and it is back on the ground. So the reason that I'm going to be priming the engine is because we have that new turbo in there. I want to make sure that the oil is getting down to all of the components. Is there lightning right now? I think we have lightning. Is a lightning storm coming? I hope not. Maybe. Actually, I like lightning storms. If it happens, it happens. But anyways, the reason that we're going to be priming this is because we want to make sure oil is completely flowing through the turbo. We don't want to start the car up with a dry turbo. Outside of that, there should be oil going to everything else still. We didn't really pull any oil lines off except for that turbo feed line. I'm going to get the crank sensor disconnected, pull the fuel pump fuse, and we're just going to turn the engine over a couple times. I'm going to watch the fuel pressure gauge just to make sure that there is pressure flowing through the system as well. Alright, so right down there, I know it's difficult to see, the crank sensor is disconnected. The fuel pump fuse has been pulled, which is that 15 right there. So, let's turn it over and see what happens. We're going to turn the car over. So, the fuel pump fuse is disconnected, the crank sensor is disconnected. We have our oil gauge right there, well, oil pressure. So, I'm just going to turn it over for a minute so we can get some oil pressure going here. We're gonna do this probably 2 or 3 times, make sure everything is going good. We'll do it one more time. And we should have oil pressure built now. So oil should be flowing through the turbo. Look at all of those cells and flashing lights on the dashboard. Jesus, we need to get the new tune on here, or at least a base map tune to get rid of some of those. Those are not happy. I'm curious what they are. I'll pull it up on the access port. So I'm curious at what some of the cells are on here. So let's see what they are. Read codes. Oh, 3 of them. Intake, temp sensor, circuit high, TGV signal, and TGV signal. So actually not that bad. Intake, all of these should be clear. Oh, all of these should be cleared with the base map going on. So I'm not overly worried. So we should have oil pressure built. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this guy off. We have oil pressure built. The car is reassembled. I need to get the crank sensor plugged back in as well as the fuel pump fuse back in. However, should we start the car tonight? No, we're not. We're gonna wait until tomorrow to start the car because I still need to download the base map from my email, load it up onto the access port, put it onto the car, and then start it. So when we go to start the car, we're gonna have to set fuel pressure at 43 PSI. We're gonna do that by using the access port and the Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator. So overall, everything looks good. The only cells that came up on the access port were those TGV deletes that popped up, as well as the intake temp circuit high, which is totally fine because we have that remote intake temperature sensor. We have the TGV deletes fully removed. So I'm glad nothing came up for the barometric pressure sensor because that was one that I was a little bit worried about when I was removing the sensor, but no codes came up for that one. Barometric pressure was reading as normal at 14.7, which is one atmosphere, so 1 bar. So it was reading good. It was between 14.5 and 14.8, going back and forth between there as I was priming the fuel system, or priming the oil system. So let me get the crank sensor reconnected, the fuel pump fuse put back in, and then we'll wrap the video up because I'm stoked. It's such a weird feeling having the car back on the ground with the hood shut in one piece. It is like actually blowing my mind to think that the car will actually be started tomorrow with the new turbo in it, with just all the good stuff, all this like goodness that we've just done to it over the past 2 weeks. Oh, I'm so excited to see how it sounds, especially with that Killer Bee header that we just put in the car. Ooh, it's gonna be loud. And that external wastegate, très magnifique. So that's really gonna wrap it up for this video. If you guys do have any questions, comments, concerns, discussions, debates, topics, installs, anything you got going on in your minds, please feel free to drop them down below. And if you like the video, turn the little thumbs up blue like the Subaru. Sorry, I'm way too excited right now to have this thing back on the ground in one piece. But if you're not already subscribed to the channel, which I'd greatly appreciate if you were, you know, subscribe at any time. You know, it's free and whatnot. So do as you will. But I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe. Let's do this like bottom corner right here in this area. And with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.